All right, next up is a very simple idea called enumeration, and this describes what happens if you inject an enumeration. So if you have a component of type IEnumerable of t or IList of t or ICollection of t, and you're injecting that into some other component, what is the result? Well, predictably enough, the result is that you get one of each registered object of type t. So let me give you an example. Suppose we have two logs. We have console log and we have SMS log. We register them both to provide the ilog interface. What we can then do is we can inject somewhere an ilist of ilog. And what this gets initialized to when you actually start to use it is it gets initialized to a list with two elements. The first element is a resolved console log, and the second is a resolved SMS log. Now, the thing about all of this is that you can grab all the types related to logging, for example, and you can go through them with a for each, because you have this component which is an ilist of something or an IEnumerable of something. You can use a for each, and therefore you can sort of get every single log type that you have. And this is relevant because, well, logging is a very good example actually. Let's suppose that you have a logging system, but you want to be notified in all the ways in which are possible at the same time. So suppose something critical happens in your trading system, you're incurring losses, you want both an SMS as well as an email, as well as some sort of inner Windows logging thing maybe. So you can have all of those just by injecting some sort of IEnumerable or similar collection type into whatever component has actually generated the error. Another benefit of enumerations, and that's very interesting, is that it allows you for safe resolution of objects which may not have been registered at all. So for example, let's suppose that I have a system where I haven't registered a single ilog. Ilogs have not been registered at all. If I write something like scope.resolve.ilog, because I haven't registered a single ilog, I will get an exception. It will throw an exception because it will tell me that no ilog services have been found. Too bad. But if I do it like this, if I say resolve an ilist of ilog, then instead of getting an exception, I will actually return an empty list. So this mechanism is both useful for kind of enumerating and finding all the components which implement a particular interface, and at the same time it provides this extra level of safety when you're trying to kind of collect all of them together, because if it so happens that nobody has bothered to register an ilog, or if somebody has explicitly disabled logging altogether, then it's okay. You can still leave the same code as you had before. You can still keep injecting an ilist of ilog, to be specific, and everything will work just fine. So in this scenario, we're going to assume that our reporting component wants to report to all the logs at the same time. So all the available logs, in which case we'll put them into a list. So I'll make an ilist of ilog, and we'll call it all logs. And then, of course, once again, I'll get the constructor so that we initialize those. And then the report itself, the report method, we're going to go through all the different kinds of logs that we have in the system and report the same thing to every one of them. So I'll say for each var log in all logs, and here I will just write something to every one of them. So I'll say log.write, like so, and let's have the following. Let's have hello, this is, and then let's put the actual name of the type that we're putting in here. So I'll say log.getType.name. Okay. So this is good. This means that into the SMS log we'll write hello, this is SMS log, and into the console log we'll write hello, this is console log, hopefully. Okay, now we need to register these things correctly. So that's something that is worth doing, and this approach will not work anymore because now we're looking for all the types which are ilog. So in this case, I'll say as ilog, like so. So this fixes the console log. Now with the SMS log, remember the situation is somewhat different because it has a parameter, and we have all those wonderful different ways of initializing that parameter. Here I'll just use the lambda inside of register, so I'll return a new SMS log with a certain number as always, and I'll once again register it as an ilog service. Okay, so now we have both the console log as well as the SMS log, and the rest of the code is pretty much the same. So we're calling report, and we're injecting both the console log and the SMS log as this list of all the different ilogs, and we want to see that all of them actually made it into the list. So let's execute this and see if it's in fact the case. Hooray! So as you can see, we've created the console log. That's the constructor. The SMS log doesn't have a constructor, by the way. And so the output from console log is hello, this is console log. And the output from the SMS log to the appropriate phone number is hello, this is SMS log. So the takeaway from this is very simple. If you put in some sort of a collection type or interface like iCollection, for example, or iList or iNumerable, then for a given service like an iLog, you're going to get every single registered service. So you will get an iLog, whatever the type actually got registered as an iLog, you will essentially get all of them. And this is very convenient. This allows you to fine-tune the collections of elements that are actually being used to report. And in this case, I can simply report to every single log that I've made available.